This is a Williams shell that I picked up on eBay for $12.50, and I think I probably paid about another $10 for shipping. I liked it because it's in really good shape, and it's mostly complete except for the two electric pickups on the rooftop. The pantographs are missing. There should be one at each end, but otherwise it's mostly complete. The horns are there on the roof, the windshields are present, and the headlight lenses are also there. So you may be asking right now, why was this shell so cheap? And this is the reason. You can see on the brown and the yellow stripes, and also on the roof, either something was splashed on this paint, or there was some sort of contamination at the factory before the paint was applied. But whatever the case, one side is kind of messed up. The other side looks mint, but this side is the reason that I don't feel badly about repainting this entire shell. I'm kind of sad to be removing these graphics. They were very crisp and very sharp, so nicely applied, but I don't really care for brown, yellow, and black together. I don't think they're the greatest color combination. But I do need to make sure that these lines between the colors won't show through my new paint. So I'm using some 400 grit wet dry sandpaper to smooth the edges between the different colors and also to remove some of the graphics of the Milwaukee Road line. This is a pretty big train. It's about 17 inches long, maybe a little longer, but the sides don't have very much detail molded into the plastic. So the sanding goes pretty smoothly, and it should leave me with a good surface for new paint and a big broad area for fresh decals. This EP-5 is going to be getting the Amroad treatment, the silver streak paint scheme, but I'm going to leave the rooftop black because I did like that feature from the original paint, and the contrast between the black roof and the red sides I think will look pretty darn sharp when it's all said and done. Some of the damaged paint extended to the roof, so that needed a little light sanding too, and while I was at it, I masked off the area in front of each windscreen, and now the whole top of the EP-5 has fresh black paint. These decals also came from eBay, and to me, they are a bit of a bargain. With each set that you purchase, you get enough decals for 2 locomotives and 4 passenger cars. So if you wanted, and you had the time, you could make a smaller version, a shorter length, of the train used in the movie Silver Streak. Like most decals, you just let these soak in water for about a minute before you slide them off their paper backing. But before I do that, I want to apply a little bit of this setting solution to the model. This will help the decals conform to any raised areas, and it also will help them adhere to the painted surface. Applying the graphics to this locomotive is a lot easier than some others I've done, mainly because the area between the handrails at either end is just a big, broad, flat, smooth surface. So the stripes and the logo on the name go on very easily. This might be my last Silver Streak train, so I wanted to make it special. And after applying the decals and noticing that it still looked a little plain, I thought maybe I should mask off the handrails and paint them white like the handrails from the movie train. I still use the blue painter's masking tape for larger broad areas, but when I want a fine, crisp line around a small detail, I use Tamiya's masking tape. Tamiya's masking tape is a little bit thinner, and it conforms nicely to any little raised areas, and it comes in a variety of sizes. I think I used maybe like a 2 or 3 millimeter tape here, and it gives you a very crisp line with very little bleed through when you apply any kind of spray over it. It's good stuff. It costs a little bit more, but I think it's worth the money when you think of the time you're saving by avoiding some touch-ups later. It's a big Locomotive, and I have some decals left over from other projects. These Silver Streak logos were supposed to be on a passenger car, but I think they look good on the cab. And I had some other decals left over from a Metro locomotive. I'll be adding those too. This is my first and only Williams EP-5 shell, so I don't have a base for it. I don't have a dummy frame. I don't have a motorized frame. But what I do have is a Williams E60, and that does have a motorized frame. And the width just so happens to match up well with the interior dimensions of the EP-5 shell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow the base from this E60, and with a little bit of adjustment, I think it will work fine underneath my new Amroad EP-5 shell. If you go back a few months on my YouTube channel, you'll be able to find the video of how I made this E60 for Amroad. It runs only on one motor now. It's supposed to have two, but it works well enough. Really, I just want to borrow the frame and use it on the EP-5. I think I might actually like the body on the EP-5 better than this one. They're both nice, but I like the black roof on the new EP-5. The only problem is the mounting posts for this E60 are a little bit different than the ones for the EP-5. I can make this frame work if I drill a few new holes that line up with the mounting posts on the EP-5. After some measuring and some drilling, I check to make sure things line up, and they do. So all that's left for me to do now is to put the detail pieces back on the outside of the shell. The horns, the windscreens, and the headlight lenses all go back into place pretty smoothly. I can just reunite the body with the older frame. Then I think I'm done.